Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of Video Games Ahoy. My name is Jonathan Radford, and today I'm joined by Dav Gape.
Hello.
And Zach Hamilton.
Hello.
How are you doing, fellas?
Good, thank you.
Zachary?
I don't even know what to say to you at this point. Been battling with technical issues before the show, and I'm a bit salty about it. I'm a bit salty.
At your wits' end.
Yeah. So this is we've had a great start so far. This is like the second we've had to start because so many issues are happening on. I mean, Dav is flawless. But me and Zach are just having a number of issues that, particularly Zach, and I feel for him.
I'm really struggling. I have to say, it's not been ideal for me today, but we're going to see how it goes.
We can hear you now, which is great. That's amazing.
Okay.
26 minutes later, we're all doing well.
Yeah. Just a wee bit late today. Now, this podcast is supported by a whole host of wonderful people, our lovely patrons, and in the last week, one of our patrons decided to make the glorious step up from matey to crew member. So to Jamie, all the way in California, you're a beautiful man, and we love you. And to everyone else that contributes as well, thank you very much. We also love you.
Awesome.
If you would like to support us, then please go ahead and check out our Patreon page, which is Video Games Ahoy. You can pay £1, £5, £10, or anything you like. And if you don't want to or can't, then that's also totally fine. We just like the fact you're listening to the show. We really appreciate it. As well as Patreon, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and if you want to see these faces, then check us out on YouTube because we're on there as well. Yeah. As well as that, we've got some upcoming streaming coming soon. Specifically, we should mention Sunday because by the time this comes out, 2 of the events will have passed. But if you haven't seen our event on the PS5 streaming, it's going to be out by now. So go onto our YouTube page and check that out. But Dav is streaming Batman Episode 3 at 2:30 to 4:30 on
2:30 to 4:30 on Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, so when this comes out on Saturday, it's the day after. It's tomorrow if you're listening to it on Saturday. If you listen to it on Monday, then you missed it. So go back and check it out. But yeah, that's enough of that. We've covered all the basics. So last week we had a great episode about VR. But there was one thing we were supposed to talk about, we just didn't have enough time to cover. So we were going to have a quick chat about how hype can impact your feelings towards a game. We had a brief chat about this just before the podcast, actually. Being told something is amazing and then being told something is awful, it can sometimes impact the way you view that game going forward. So my question to you guys specifically is about being surprised. Hey guys, unfortunately Zach's internet has vanished and so has he. So you're left with me and Dad for the rest of the pod.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So for me, there's a few games actually I was going to talk about that I had positive and negative feelings towards. So one of the first ones I'm going to talk about 3 or 4 games because I don't want to focus on anything too much, but there is one game in particular, or a company I should say. The first game I was going to talk about is Skyward Sword. And when I first played Skyward Sword, it was around the time that when it came out, a lot of people really didn't like it. It had really good review scores, but a lot of people didn't like it. I think, and I get it. A lot of it was a bit on the controls. A lot of it was based on the fact that it was too linear. Like you walk along a path and that's it. And it was too bright and colorful. Although I don't quite believe, like that argument doesn't really carry weight with me because Wind Waker is so beloved. But I love the story. And yeah, it is linear. And yeah, the controls sometimes didn't work. I never had an issue with the controls. But because have you played?
I haven't. I never had a Wii U.
Yeah.
It
was the
end
last
of the Wii, wasn't it?
Yeah, end of the Wii. But yeah, it's
But no, I didn't. I played Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
And played Wind Waker before that. But yeah, Skyward Sword was one that escaped me. I think I heard a few of the negative things. Yeah. And by that point, my Wii was collecting dust in the corner.
Yeah, of course. Well, towards the end of the Wii's lifespan, I think there was a lot of negative things that were coming out. There just wasn't any the games. The games just weren't there.
Yeah, they dried up, and then they brought out the Wii U, and then we were expecting all the games that they didn't put on the Wii to come out on the Wii U, and now they're on the Switch.
Yep.
So. But
yeah, it was just I think I went into thinking, oh, this isn't going to be very good. It was the first Zelda game to have fully orchestrated as well. So like it had the music was amazing. It came with the CD. of classic Zelda tracks, which I got my dad, whenever I left it in my car with my dad, so if my dad would drive, he'd listen to this music not knowing it's from Zelda, and be like, oh, this is good, this is really jaunty. And I'm like, yeah, it's by Koji Kondo. It's he's a big famous composer in Japan. But he loved it. He wouldn't have known any different.
Yeah.
So that's just a small one, because even though Zelda's a huge franchise, that game in particular, I do have really fond memories of playing. I really enjoyed that. But the two games I was going to focus a bit more on, one of them, they're from the same company, and they one of them led to me thinking that I wasn't going to enjoy the other one, and I think you've played them both, and that's Bayonetta. So I've heard so many great things about Bayonetta, and I loved Devil May Cry as a kid,
right?
Which is pretty much plays very, very similar, if not the same. It's the same type of game, hack and slash type of thing. But I played 1 and 2, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it, and I was quite surprised with that, because I love Devil May Cry, and because I love the art style, and because it is really cool, and I can see that it's really fun. But I don't know what it was. I never felt like I was rushing through the game. I felt like whenever I get to a level, I think I just want to finish this level. I don't know why.
Yeah, I really like Bayonetta. I think it's great. I think it is rated a bit too highly. I don't like a lot of the story or the characters.
Yeah.
But I love the world.
Yeah.
And I haven't finished Bayonetta 2, but completed Bayonetta 1, and it's one of those games where you complete it and you go, I'm hungry for more. So I played the first few levels on the next difficulty up, just to be like, I want a bit more. Eventually got Bayonetta 2, and I'm about halfway through it. I've got that on the Switch, but then I just keep putting it on the bench for other games that come out.
Yeah.
But no, I really like Bayonetta 1. Although I guess once I'd found sort of 3 different combos that I really liked, that was the game.
And I think that's probably what it was. I think for me, when I was playing Bayonetta, I love games that hook me from point to point. I'm like, oh, I'll be attracted to this and this and this. But I think with Bayonetta, I was just getting a little bit bored, and that's fine, because that's just me. That I know that's me. I know there's loads of people who love Bayonetta, and that's amazing. I'll probably still buy Bayonetta 3, because one, I try to buy all of the big Nintendo Switch games, because I like to play. There are so many varied games that come out on the Switch, and I like to play as many games as possible. And I want to see if 3 can change my opinion. I still like the like you said, the world is great. I don't know. It's probably down to the way I play the game. I just wish there was a bit more variation. But yeah, so I was a bit worried and a bit shocked when Astral Chain was
Platinum
shown.
Games,
when it was first shown, I was a bit. When I saw it, I was like, okay, it's Platinum Games. I like the look of this.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to you about it, actually, towards the end of last year. We were just ranking a couple of games. And when I actually bought it, I bought it. I was like, I'm going to buy it, because I think I bought it for it was on offer at Amazon, because Amazon sometimes do these weird deals where you would just buy a Nintendo Switch game for £10 off. So it was 35 quid. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy that. And I loved it. I was so shocked, because it was a lot slower than Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Which maybe that's what it was. It was a bit more tactical, especially because the way you have to use your Legion. It was a bit more. It was really interesting. I think the graphics were amazing. It looked gorgeous. It got review bombed by a lot of people, because Astral Chain wasn't on other platforms. There were people who were absolutely review bombing it on Metacritic, because it was a Switch exclusive, which is, that tells you how much that people wanted to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I like I said, I remember talking to you about it, and it was. I think I was ranking the games of the year that we played, and I think I put it 3rd overall. But if it was of games that came out that year, it would have been 2nd, because I think my number 1 was The Witcher, but that's only because I hadn't really played The Witcher properly.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it was almost a brand new game, and playing The Witcher is one of the greatest games of all time. Number 2 was Fire Emblem, if anyone was wondering, by the way. So yeah, I was so shocked at how much I loved it. I put in almost 3 times as much time into that game as I did for Bayonetta 1. I put more time into Astral Chain than I put into Bayonetta 1 and 2.
But then I think Astral Chain probably takes the amount of time it takes to complete Bayonetta 1 and 2.
Yeah, that probably is the case. But
you wanted to spend that time.
Yeah, I never felt like, I want to get past this level, which I did feel like with Bayonetta. And again, that's purely down to me. That's not down to the way that it's designed. I just feel like it was. I don't think it's necessarily underrated because it's still had really, really good reviews. But I do think that it still did surprise me how good it was because because it was just, I think it was dropped in like 2020. Was it 2018? The direct, maybe towards the end. I think it was like September or something like that. They were just like Astral Chain coming out next year, and that was it.
Yeah.
It was like it just the time between announcing the game and the game coming out was relatively short compared to sometimes games are announced like 3-4 years before they actually come out. And yeah, I was really blown away by how great it was, and I think it's strange because, like I said, they're both from the same company. They both play in a similar way, but one of them, I guess, exceeded my expectations, and one of them kind of disappointed me. But yeah, that's me, Astral Chain. And Bayonetta, what about you, Dev?
Well, so for me, my surprising game is also the game I've been playing this week.
Right.
So I originally played it when it first came out.
Yeah.
And what surprised me was the fact that I kept playing it. I probably played it for about 6 months straight. Almost every day.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't do it one day, and then one day turns into two. Kind of like what's happened with Animal Crossing recently, actually.
Yeah.
But recently, this sort of last week or so, I had the itch. I had the urge to get back into it, and the game is Respawn's Apex Legends.
See, I've never played Apex Legends. I've heard it's good.
Yeah, so it's definitely my favorite battle royale that I've experienced. Of the big three, sort of Fortnite, Apex, and Warzone. I think it's got a real nice pace to it. It's got that kind of feel because Respawn, obviously, they made Titanfall 1 and 2, and Jedi Fallen Order, and then before all that, they were working on Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the earlier sort of modern COD 4, that generation of COD when they really kicked it up a level.
Can I just say one thing before you move on briefly? Isn't that such a weird list of games for them to make? Well, not weird, like there's a very similar list of games that they've made. In Star Wars. It's like it's so weird. Anyway, I was just like, that's so crazy. But
sure, because and there were concerns because they were like, well, they kind of had a bit of melee because in Titanfall 2, one of the Titans has a sword, but like, how are they going to deal with all that? And I mean, I 100%ed that game. It had its flaws, but I got 1,000 gamer score. I did all the stuff.
That's awesome. I still haven't played it. I need to play it.
Yeah. In fact, I think that's one of the games where I dropped Apex to play that.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I've got back into it this week, and boy, am I overwhelmed by all the new stuff. There's new modes. There's this whole single player campaign thing. There are these treasure packs you got to pick up.
There
are 2 new characters which I hadn't even heard of because I was so out of the loop. But I've basically just been playing as the same guy every time I can if someone doesn't pick him before me. And that's Octane, who is just I used to loathe people who went Octane because his whole thing is he's fast. And usually there's a lot of people who play Octane. When they pick him, they're a certain personality. They're this kind of person who's always spamming the emotes and just getting on your nerves, just in your ears, all these different quotes and whatnot. You're just like, shut up. I just want to.
So you wanted to be that guy?
I want to be that guy. And then the surprise there was that I started playing him and I instantly got it. Like so you have like your ultimate and then you have like your sort of special move. His special move is he injects himself and he moves super quick. Right. And I was like, okay, I get this now. And then his ultimate is that he puts down a jump pad and you can just like launch into the air. So it's all about sort of getting everywhere and going everywhere, picking up all the loot, shooting people, just moving around as quickly as possible.
So I've never played, so I really know nothing about the game. So do you pick someone specifically? That you can only pick
every character has their own ultimate and special move, and a passive.
Be the same person?
You can't be the same person in your team.
Right, in your team,
Yeah, and nowadays you've got trios and duos. It used to only be 3 players.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I am loving this game, and I really wasn't expecting to sort of pick it up as much as I did. Because when Fortnite first came around, the Battle Royale mode, I tried a bit of that, and I won a game on squads, and I won a game on solos. I went, yeah, I'm good, I'm done. I don't need to play this again. I don't have the urge to play this again. It frustrates me in a weird way. I'm not 12. I haven't got the right reflexes. Whereas with Apex, I feel like good. Ironically, I streamed it for 2 hours the other day. I was garbage the whole time. And before bed, I went, you know what? I need to redeem myself. So I went back on. I played 4 games and I won 3 of them. I was like, no! Why wasn't this on stream? But it's one of those games where it's just one more. Like last night, I was playing it for like, I was going to go, all right, 1 game before bed. I played like 8 games. And I was like, oh, it's 2 a.m. Good. Got a podcast tomorrow. It's going to be great. But yeah, no, really enjoy it. And like, I'm thinking about it right now. I'm going to play it tonight. I think I'm hooked again, which is bad because there's so many other games I need to be playing right now. But go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say with games like that is the thing, isn't it? It hooks you because it's so easy to just go, oh, I'll play another one. But
But there's a lot of story-based games out there that need my attention. But how about you? What have you been playing?
Well, so I mean, this is the thing. Last week, I briefly mentioned Xenoblade Chronicles. And I know you, because you've been streaming it. But have you been playing it outside of the stream?
Not outside the stream. So I'm about 8 hours in at the moment. Yeah. I've completed the first 4 chapters.
Okay.
So no heavy spoilers, but I've got the. I've gone to the refugee camp.
Right.
I'm now on my way to Outpost 6.
Right. Okay. So you,
to go and get the person.
I I'm 35 hours in.
Yeah.
But I've really not been playing anything else. And apart from there's a few things we've been doing for the podcast that me and Dav and Zach have been working on away from it. So I really haven't had that much time to be playing games. Especially because I recently bought a capture card, which I'm very happy about because it means that I can join Dav in the streaming, finally. And Dav actually helped me out earlier to make sure everything was ticking over, making sure everything was looking okay.
On a secret Twitch account.
Yes. Which one could it be?
But it's good because it means that we'll both be streaming now.
Yeah.
Because I've been streaming about 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And then we might be end up streaming more than 4 times a week, but then maybe I can take a day off, So it'll be great, and we can play more multiplayer stuff, and
exactly.
We can maybe do some double screen setups and whatnot.
I've just realised there has been a game that I've been playing.
Yes, there is.
Oh, yes.
51 of them, in fact.
Yes, that's exactly what I've been playing. Oh man, I completely forgot about this. So, what's the actual full name of the game? I need
51 worldwide games.
That's the one. 51 worldwide games. I'm going to get a list of the games. We're going to list every single one of them and rate them out of 10.
Have you played them all?
No. But, oh man, I've actually had such a good time playing that game. So I was crying with laughter playing that game. I completely forgot I've been playing it because I bought it and then I was like, okay, this is a game for me to play with Rosie. Rosie's been so busy with work, bless her, that I haven't really, and we are going to stream it at some point soon as well.
We are.
Which I'm really excited about.
Not this Monday? Maybe this Monday?
Hopefully, maybe not. Hopefully, maybe this Monday. Maybe this Monday. Who knows? Maybe. Let me just get some of the games up. But yeah, so me and Rosie played a load of them. I was supposed to be talking about Xenoblade Chronicles, but no one cares about that. I spoke about it last week. I'll mention it briefly at the end. But yeah, there was just right. Here we go. Here's some of them. So there's dots and boxes. The pencil and paper.
I used to play that game with my dad on a piece of paper, like for so long, and we'd make like a 100-box grid. Yeah. And we'd just be there for ages, just passing it between us while watching the TV. So good.
4 in a row, checkers, chess, Yacht Dice, which is essentially Yahtzee.
Yahtzee!
Me and Rosie played Yahtzee or Yacht Dice. We played it for about 2 hours the other day. Just sat there.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, we were just really playing. We were just really enjoying it.
Each on your own Switch or on one Switch?
On the same one. So she hasn't bought it because most of the time she'll be playing it with me, I imagine.
Yeah, I wonder if does it have that kind of download play like you do with like DS 3DS games?
I don't know. I don't because to be honest, I haven't really put. I spent literally the only amount of time I played is playing Yahtzee, playing toy. What is it? I'm literally looking at the games on my screen.
Is it the tank one?
I did play that very, very. The slot cars, man. Oh my god. We spent hours. No, not hours. We probably spent about an hour just replaying the slot car levels. I'm really hoping they add more levels to that, by the way. But we were just. I was roaring with laughter. because
slot cars. Am I thinking Hot Wheels?
Essentially, the Hot Wheels one, yeah. But it's called the mode is called slot cars, and it's just you two racing each other on like Hot Wheels or on a track.
Oh, like Scalextrics.
Yeah, Scalextrics. You can bump so if you if you get on a specific maps where you can you'll end up on the same track, you can bump them off.
Amazing.
You can get bumped off. And I was just because obviously I play more games than Rosie. She knows that.
Yeah.
I wasn't playing it to be like, yeah, in your face. I was just playing it to be like, okay, let's have a go at these games to see how much fun they are.
But on the inside, you were like, yeah, in your face.
Take that. No, but I was just crying, absolutely crying with laughter because we were playing slot cars and I was just going around and she was flying off, I was flying off, we were bumping into each other.
Yeah.
Just for that, man. And it's only 35 quid as well. So if you've got
I've bought it ready for us to stream it. Amazing. I haven't played it yet though.
There's other things as well. I played what did I play? I played bowling, and you can use the Wii remote to bowl. So it's a lot like the Wii Sports games.
Well, not the Wii remote, but yeah, the Joy-Con.
Joy-Con, not Wii remote.
The thing about it as well is that it seems like it's a mix of the. There was a DS game of club games or something. That's mixed with Wii Sports, mixed with Wii Play.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah.
Move over 1-2 Switch.
I never played 1-2 Switch. I heard it was garbage.
I owned it and I never played it.
Oh, God. Yeah, Did you not play it once?
Not once.
Oh, man. I heard so many bad things. But then it was one of the few games that came out on the debut of the Switch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A few other I'm just going to list a few other things. So there's Toy Tennis, which I played, which was actually surprisingly difficult. And I quite like tennis games. I love Mario Tennis. And I found that really tricky. Toy Baseball was so much fun. Toy Boxing, I was crying again because we were supposed to block and punch, but me and Rose were just like, right, we're just going to mash.
Yeah.
There's no blocking in this. So we're just mashing the button. We're just punching each other in the face. And she actually beat me, which is
in
really
real
funny.
life.
Don't tell people. No, she beat me in the old boxing, and there was toy soccer as well, and also air hockey. Air hockey's amazing. So
we're gonna make a list of games that we're gonna play on stream. Yeah, toy soccer has to be one of them. Air hockey has to be one of them.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Because the thing with the air hockey, the only problem with the air hockey one is we have to use the control, sadly, because you can use touchscreen to play air hockey, and that's so much better. So I put my Switch down on the table, and Rosie was using one end and I was doing the other. It was so good. Honest to God. There's all the card games as well. So we were playing what card games were we playing? We were playing blackjack. We were playing blackjack for about half an hour.
It's a classic.
But it's little things like that, and the thing is as well is you don't. I think you only need the controller just to select cards or to do stuff like that. So it's such an easy game, and all of those games, I have 4 controllers. You can't. Not all of them are multiplayer. There are a lot of them that are only single player, unless you've got another Switch.
How do you play blackjack on the same screen?
I can't remember.
Just to look away when it's their cards.
No, I think it just showed them.
Rude.
Yeah, I think it just showed the cards. I think it was just you can see all of the cards and that's it.
Huh.
But yeah, man. Honestly, that wasn't the game I'll talk about. I'll talk about Xenoblade Chronicles for 2 secs. Just because I didn't really talk about it that much. I sped through it last week. But I completely forgot I've been playing this game because I've been so busy, and I would recommend every single person listening to this podcast to go out and buy that game, 51 worldwide.
51 games for 35 quid. Pretty good.
Classics. It's really, and do you know what? It didn't come out of nowhere because it was in the last Direct.
Yeah.
But it did kind of feel like it came out of nowhere. Because it's not like The Last of Us 2 where everyone's like, I'm having this game. I just forgot about it. Mm-hmm. And then it was it's out tomorrow. And I was like, I'll buy that. And I'm happy I did. Happy I made that purchase.
The only bundle I'd say is probably better value is the one on Itch.io. The bundle for racial justice and equality. Guess how many games? Do you remember how many games there are?
I was over 1,300.
1,427.
There we are.
And it costs £3.94. $5.
Yeah, that is. I mean, the thing is, it's for a good cause as well. So
great cause.
I think me and you both bought it, didn't we?
Both bought it, yeah. And also, you the game, some of the highlights on there. You've got Night in the Woods, which is supposed to be great. I've got it, still haven't played it.
Yeah.
Celeste, which I've completed, which is great.
Just downloaded Celeste.
It's a tricky bugger, that one.
Even the thing with Celeste is it's like £16-17 on the Switch.
Yeah. So for $3.94, you've got it. You've got a copy of it. And there's another one called Overland, I think, which looked really cool. I saw that in one of the presentations last year.
Yeah.
Sort of like a grid-based, cool-looking game, like little scenarios. It looks really cool. But
I wrote a few things down for this because I was going to mention it later, but if we're talking about it now, we've got loads and loads of time. There is... So regularly, it would cost $7,875.
Which I've got in my back pocket.
Yeah, just sitting there right in the back pocket. It's 1,125 different creators, I should say. Some of them would be the same people. And so far, they've raised $3,700,000 with a target of $5 million. Which, I mean, fair play also to the people who own these games and just decided to go. We're not going to make any money. They're not going to make any money, obviously. So we're just going to go. Let's just play. And Celeste, like you just said, it's one of the best games. When did it come out? Like 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2017, maybe 2018.
It's won loads of awards. So
it's a phenomenal game. It's so well designed.
Yeah.
And it's got a real nice message in there. Real powerful stuff in there. It's bloody hard. Bloody hard. But it's like its form is its function in the way that like its difficulty is part of the message it's trying to talk about.
Yeah.
Which is really great. But yeah, what a bargain. What a bargain.
Yeah.
And by the time this podcast comes out, I think it'll have about 3 days left, 2 or 3 days left on it. Yes. And they're trying to aim for $5 million. So if you've got $5 spare, mate, you're robbing yourself by not getting it.
Yeah, and again, like we said, it goes to an incredible cause. So like, yeah, it's $5. If you're in the UK, like you said, it's what, like
$3.94. I think I got charged.
$3.94 for all of those games. I mean, come on. But yeah, one thing I was going to say just before we move on, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Xenoblade Chronicles.
Sure, yeah.
And then
please do.
Actually, because we've got more time, because unfortunately, if you haven't noticed, our dear friend Zach is not with us today. He had many, many issues with his internet, so it's just me and Dav, which is totally fine.
His computer is now in pieces on the ground outside of his window.
Yeah, he was threatening it, but now I fear that he's actually done
a lot of profanities.
But yeah, there was. So one game, I'll talk about Xenoblade, but there's actually one game that I picked up recently, and I'll talk about the end. But I just want to quickly talk about Xenoblade. Like I said, I'm 35 hours into the game.
Yeah.
And I genuinely, I do think I prefer it to 2. And I loved 2. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people didn't like 2 that much, especially compared to 1. And I get why. I mean, I played 2 when it came out in 2017. So it's been a while since I actually played the game. But I also love Toner as well, the extra DLC that came out. I think the one thing Xenoblade Chronicles does really well, and I think I mentioned this briefly last week, is just you're absorbed in the story straight away. It's the characters are really engaging, they're really likable, and I just think I don't know, man. It's really, really hard to describe without just talking about how it's just a nice game, but also it's really great. It's hard to describe, really, but like especially because it's a game that came out 10 years ago. To go
35 hours in, have you finished all the tutorials yet?
I actually don't know. I haven't checked. Because there are a few tutorials you've got to do to like get a few things. I haven't actually checked because a lot of the time I've been playing it, I've just been doing all of the side quests. So that I don't even think I'm past chapter 10. I'm not halfway through the game.
Yeah. So every time I stream it, dedicate the last sort of 45 minutes of the 4-hour stint just trying to clear the quest log.
The quest, yeah.
And then at the beginning of the 4 hours, it's time to clog the log. And at the end, you've got to try and clear it. Yeah. And last time, I was one mission away from clearing it.
Oh, man. The only thing I will say about the quests is sometimes they are a bit, like, it is frustrating when, like,
it's a lot of go and get this, go and find this, go and kill this many this, go and find this. Yeah.
Especially when, like, one person
gives you 4.
And then you have to go, you'll say, do this quest, and it's done. And you'll speak to him again, like, do this quest, and it's done. And then you speak to him again. It's like, oh man, just tell me all 3. Just say like, oh, I also have this.
Some of them do. You can just roll it off 4 in a row. Yeah. And then there's one guy in the refugee camp on the way to Outpost 6, which is like, oh, you've come back to me. Well done. Well, try this for luck. And you're like, dude, I just want to tell me which bunny I need to go and kill, and I'll do it.
No, that is true. It's the one thing it's the only thing, and it's weird because I don't mind it too much because a lot of it is really simple. The quests are not hard. A lot of the time it is just go and kill these things, and then a lot of the time you don't have to go back and see them.
Yes, which is good. Which is very good.
Most of the time it will just be like quest completed. Saying that, I mean, another way around that is the way the Final Fantasy VII remake did it, which I thought was really good. Is that when you completed a quest, an option would come up saying, "Do you want to transport back to where this person was?"
Right, sure.
Which I think is really cool because a lot of the time when you complete a quest and you're like miles away, it can be a hassle getting back to that person. But that's cool. But also this is great as well. It's just saying, yeah, you've done the quest.
Yeah, I started fast traveling in my second session.
Yeah,
I just because it's so big.
Yeah,
it's hard not to. I really try not to, but it's so big and there's only so much auto running you can do. Where you're like, you know what? Let's get some quests done. Let's just jump around.
Well, one thing I like to do, I mean, I don't really have an issue with, I get it, but for me personally, I'm like, you know what, I just want to unlock fast travel so I can just get back and forth as quickly as possible. But I guess I'm not playing it on stream, so like I can do things like that and not worry about the aesthetics and what have you. But yeah, I do think it's a great game, and I can see why it got a lot of praise when it came out, and the fact that it wasn't originally going to come out in the US. Which is crazy when you look back at it now because it's released 3 games since.
Yeah.
And I mean, Monolith Soft have gone from 40 people to over 200 people because of Xenoblade Chronicles. So it's hard not to think that it's just been an absolute success.
Yeah.
Which is great. The one game that I was going to talk about very briefly before we move on to some news stuff is Ring Fit Adventure. So, have you?
I was thinking about getting this. I was thinking about it.
Okay. So I imagine a lot of people out there are going, yes, we totally agree with you. When it first came out, I was like 4 weeks in a row. I was like, yeah, look at this. I'm being awesome, and it is great because the biggest issue I have is I get bored. I just get bored easy. I really short attention span, so I get bored when it comes to things like that. But anything that can, so I love playing sports. I loved playing rugby growing up. Because I was exercising and I loved playing rugby, so for me,
good thing Zach's not here for this bit.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's like if you're dancing, when we were in college together, we were doing dance lessons. I always enjoyed those, and I was like, oh, we've just spent an hour running around like a lunatic, and I haven't thought about it. I hate being on a treadmill. I hate jogging.
Cardio can go away.
Some people love it, and do you know what? If you love doing cardio, amazing, that's awesome, but for me, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
To you cardio fans. Get out of here.
Yeah.
If you're not lifting weights, you're nothing.
So yeah, I don't mind lifting weights. I never really had an issue with lifting weights, but cardio is the one thing I just couldn't get on board with. So when I saw Ring Fit Adventure, and it was the day after Rosie bought a Switch, Ring Fit Adventure came out, and Rosie was like, oh, will that be a good game to buy? And I was like, hell yeah. And a good thing we did because it had
sold out.
Yeah, sold out like so quickly after that.
Yeah,
especially in America, there's big stock shortages over in America. But it's great. The story is it's not the best story in the world, but it's just about you've got to complete quests by doing all these things. You literally got to use the ring. It's in these very different ways. Press ups, sit ups. It's a lot of times just using your body weight against you, which is fine. That's how your core is built and developed. I don't know much more about
I've heard what the final boss is like. This like gym freak guy who like shames you in the gym. Like a sort of very stereotypical personality of why people hate or fear going to the gym.
Yeah.
So it's really funny the idea of like taking that guy down and then going, right, now I've done Ring Fit Adventure, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to show that massive
I'm going to find him and I'm going to go, ha I beat you in Ring Fit Adventure. Ha. And then he looks back like bulky and you just think, wrong person to start on it in real life.
Veins popping out his biceps.
But yeah, it's, again, the story is very run of the mill. It's nothing spectacular, but it takes your mind off exercising. And I think it was around the time we were put into lockdown. So in theory, I should have had more time to spend on it. But for a lot of people, it became quite hard, being stuck indoors all day. You don't necessarily want to do stuff where you are stuck indoors all day.
Yeah.
So I fell out of it after doing it for about a month. And I haven't picked it up in a while, but I picked it up recently and it absolutely kicked my butt. And I'm not even on the hardest level. It's just kind of on a middling level. And I just think I think the thing with Nintendo, they do stuff like this, and you love them for it. because they know especially a lot of gamers, they're trying to get gamers active. They know a lot of people hate exercise, like we've just said. And they're trying to make it as fun as possible, but at least get you to move around.
Yeah.
And I think Nintendo does a lot of things where I'm just like, oh, really, Ninty? Couldn't you have not done that? But when they do stuff like that, I can't help but love them.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the type of thing that my mum would buy a Switch to play.
They're always pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, my mum bought a Wii. It's for the Wii Balance board, Wii Fit and all that kind of stuff. So, and I'm not saying they do that specifically. They do, obviously, the Wii was used to target a lot of the audience who didn't really play games.
Yeah.
But I just think they've done such a great job with Ring Fit Adventure, and I am hoping to get back into it. I'm going to try and force myself to do it because, put on a bit of poundage.
Amen to that, sister.
Yeah, so I need to get back in the old Ring Fit. But yeah, if you haven't played it, it is expensive. I think it's like £70 it retails for
one game. 51 worldwide games, half the price.
Half the price, and you can sit in your bum.
Hey. Name a better place to sit.
But yeah, I would recommend it if you have it and you're interested in it. I would recommend it. Don't do it if you want to sit down and do nothing though. That is probably not the best time to do it. But yeah, we should move on to some news because we've there's some really cool stuff that have happened recently. I think we've already spoken about two of the things. Like I said, the PS5 event is going to be happening this week. We will be streaming it, but the stream would have happened. So if you haven't seen it, check out our stream from Thursday. We're all really excited to see what's happened. But who knows?
That'll be on the YouTube channel, but also on our stream archives on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Video Games Ahoy.
Exactamundo. But we're going to talk. I think the last thing we're going to talk about, because we haven't really got much time. We've exercised all of the things we need to talk about. Really, there's one final thing we need to talk about, and I think that's Dan. I think that's something you were talking about to me earlier. Actually, it's about Phil Spencer.
Oh, baby, what a man!
Interview.
What a man!
Do you want to take the lead on this, or shall I?
You crack on ahead. Yeah. I'll listen.
So basically, Phil Spencer did an interview with the BBC, and I think Phil Spencer is one of the reasons why I think Xbox are beginning to turn it around in the public eye. Anyway, I think that a lot of the things he's done, I don't know. It just like, for instance, so what he spoke about was the fact that he's very aware that people aren't going to be able to afford a lot of things because everything that's happened in the world, people are not going to have spare income to go and spend £500 on an Xbox, which he totally understands. And I think the fact that they're bringing out smart delivery for one is already a great thing for consumers, because he's already gone, you don't have to buy the game twice. We know that this is going to be a cross-generational thing, and we're trying to be fair and kind. And I think that in itself is amazing. But the fact as well that, what's the new process called? Xbox All Access program. Yeah, which means you can essentially buy an Xbox. You essentially lease an Xbox until you pay for it, essentially. Yeah. But there's no interest. So you just pay for the Xbox.
Is that confirmed?
Well, that's what I read earlier.
Lovely.
Not for I don't know if it's for the Series X, but I know that's for the one. But pretty much all the ones that are out now.
Sure.
I think they expect it to be $25 or 20. I don't know if it's £25 because
probably will be.
They match it up, don't they? That's sadly. But yeah, you just pay over a 2-year period, and then eventually it's yours. I mean, and it's weird because the way they said it is that you'd have to stick with Xbox for 2 years. But I think during the initial period of the first 2 years of the new console generation, most people would. Like, if you're going to bail on a console after the first 2 years, within the first 2 years, you shouldn't really have bought it in the first place.
Very weird negative to have. If you aren't getting rid of something for 2 years, so if you have it, right?
Yeah.
And you're paying £25 a month or whatever, any early adopter usually is going to pay the whole bucket load the console at its most expensive, even before any iterations come out.
Yeah.
So for them, they're thinking, I don't mind paying that much.
Yeah.
Now with lockdown, it's allowing, and this new Xbox All Access, it's allowing people who maybe wouldn't have got it on day one to go out and get one. Now, if maybe they're not happy after a year, and let's say the console costs, I don't know, let's say £500, hopefully not, but let's say it costs £500. In that year, they will have paid £250, £300.
Yeah.
If they go and trade that in after a year, they're going to get their money back.
Yeah.
They're going to get all that money back. and still have to pay the rest.
Yeah.
Which is the same as paying the whole thing up front and then getting 300 quid back.
Yeah. The fact that it includes Games Pass as well, like that is the thing. I mean, just because Games Pass is it £10 a month, or it can be £15 for cross if you want to use it on PC as well.
Yeah, $10.99 a month maybe. I think I'm paying $11.99.
So the fact that you can get for instance, you have the series. Which one did you have? The
I got the S, all digital.
All digital one. So I think when I saw that one earlier, it was £20. But so if you were to buy it now, that would be £20 a month. But you get for the 2 years, but you'd also get Games Pass.
Yeah.
So like you're paying £10 a month for an Xbox, which is
exactly. So I mean, and the idea of going, you'd have to stick with it for 2 years. It's the same with anything. So like you can get a lease on like furniture or a car or like white goods. That's the deal with those things. Yeah. But you also get a guarantee with it. And you don't have to buy one if you don't want to.
And do you know what as well? I think the thing for me is that has actually made me go, well, I'm probably going to buy an Xbox, because I am probably going to buy. I was going to buy both of them, but like if I can just go, here's £400 for a PS5 and here's £20 a month for an Xbox,
especially with zero interest.
Like zero interest, you are paying for the console in just what it is now, but you're just splitting it up over 24 months.
If Sony don't implement the exact same process, they might really regret not doing that.
Well, I've said this before, man, that everything that Xbox are doing for me anyway is leading me to go, you know what?
I'm so pro-consumer, I love it.
Yeah, and the thing is as well is, you're totally right. It is all like, and the thing, I'll read out something he said. So again, to the BBC, Phil Spencer said this: "Our strategy is centered around the player, not the device. If this is not the year when a family wants to make a decision to buy a new Xbox, that's okay. Our strategy does not revolve around how many Xboxes I sell this year. We are focused on delivering services through Xbox Game Pass, which allows people to build the library for a monthly fee." I think just the fact that he's basically saying, you know what, it's not about for us selling Xbox and say we want to sell 100 million within 5 years. It's not about that. I think he kind of understands that gaming is moving on. It is,
for sure. Yeah. And the thing with Sony is that yes, they've got the games, but they've got a very inferior streaming process.
Yes.
They've got nothing that's really comparable to Game Pass.
No.
PS Now is a far cry from that. And with xCloud, the beta of xCloud is so much better than PS Now in my experience, which is kind of unforgivable for a system for an application that's been going so many years.
Yeah, you can't download it to the PC. Well, you can't.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can download it to PS4, but yeah. And also on top of that, why rest on your laurels and go, it's okay to have all of these inferior services when we've got better games? Why not, reward your loyal customers by going, yes, have all these great games, but we're also going to make sure that all these services are up to scratch and are as good as they could be.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it feels a little bit arrogant, and I really hope that maybe this is all stupid from what they'll say on Thursday, just gone, but I really hope that they start putting their finger at their bottom and sort that out and really sort of think about, especially in our current climate with all the lockdown and everything else and the lack of income for a lot of people. Yeah. I really hope they start thinking about how they can properly monetize and properly think about what consumers really want.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have compared the way the PlayStation is dealing with the PS5 to the way they dealt with the PS3. In that they just come off this huge, phenomenal success of PlayStation 2. And let's not beat around the bush. PlayStation 4 is incredibly successful.
Yes.
It's an incredibly successful machine, and they did, like, from the start they nailed it. But that's also because they had an awful start to the PS3.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the thing that I find crazy, I mean, the thing with the Xbox 360 was, if you look at the sales for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 almost took half of the people that had bought a PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
it was. I think it was like 85 million a piece, whereas 140 million bought the PlayStation 2, and like something like 30 million bought the original Xbox. So Xbox 360 really did a great job of doing that, and I feel like they're doing the same again. Like I said, everything that's happened so far, everything that I've seen come out, has made me go, okay, yes, PlayStation 5 still has all the games that I want to play, and I get that. However, the way Xbox had dealing with this. They've just bought a load of companies as well. Let's be open about that. I mean, they've bought a load of companies which have done a load of amazing games recently. Like the Outer Worlds, like if that had been a year later, that would have been an Xbox exclusive.
Been playing a lot of the Outer Worlds this week, actually. It's been very enjoyable.
So yeah, I like you said, we're interested to see what happens on Thursday. Obviously, if you are listening to this, you would have seen what had happened by now. But I don't know. That's everything that all the noises that Xbox are making. I think it's making me I've said this before. It already made me question which one I wanted to do choose in the first place.
Yeah.
But it's making me question even more. Okay, well, if PlayStation doesn't do this, then I'm more likely to get an Xbox straight away because I only have to pay £20 a month.
Yeah, I mean,
what's £20 a month, and I can play all of the games
on Game Pass. Yeah,
on Game Pass,
it's insane.
That which is included. It's you see that and you think I don't understand how anyone can look at that and go, wow, that's too good of an offer to turn down. That for me, I'm already going, well, I'm probably going to get one.
Yeah, like think about Christmas, right? And your mum's a kid's mum's going out to the shop. Hopefully, we can go out to shops by then.
Yeah.
And is going, oh, which one do I get? Do I get this one, which is 450 quid right now?
Yeah.
Or do I get this one that I can pay 25 quid? And then I can think about, right, my other 3 kids, my partner's got to get a gift, my cousin, my auntie, my friend, when you can go, oh my God, that's the thing. He wants a new games console. That one's 25 quid right now.
Yeah.
And sure, I have to pay it all down the line. But as far as the financing structure goes, that's basically like the free-to-play model, isn't it? Like you just get it in the house, and then they'll keep paying.
Well, that is the thing as well. It's like, because the thing is, if you buy an Xbox as well, like you will start buying accessories for it as well. And a lot of the time, like I think I remember reading that most of the time they don't make a profit. A lot of the time they don't make profits on the console. Or
barely any, sometimes a loss,
It's usually about the accessories or the games. And the thing is with Xbox as well, I know that we're talking a lot about Xbox, but I think we have a lot of time to fill up anyway. And I'm glad we had this conversation because I think it's really important for people listening going, there are going to be a lot of people out there going, what do I choose? And just everything we've seen so far, Xbox have shown us what the console is. They've been very open about what is coming out on it. They're very open about the fact that you can play games on the old generation and the new generation. The fact that you only have to spend £25 and you've got a new console. We've still heard nothing. I know we were supposed to hear something last week, and totally understand that. But even before then, we still haven't heard anything from it, and it's supposed to be coming out in 3 months.
Yeah.
So
exciting, interesting, intriguing times.
Yes, absolutely. So we are coming to the end of the podcast, sadly. And there's just something I wanted to just quickly chat about. Okami 2. There might be an Okami 2 coming out. Now,
what?
So the
Finally.
Okami artist Ikumi Nakamura, she claimed that she's planning to pitch a full sequel to Capcom about Okami 2, and she said this to IGN Japan. That's a project I'd like to make reality the most. As long as I go after it, I have the feeling that the chances are pretty high that it might become a reality.
Wow.
Please make this a thing. I loved Okami.
So it's available on pretty much every system you can ever think of, and I still haven't played it.
What? Have you not played it? Oh, man. Dude, I played it for the first time on the Switch. I played the Okami HD remaster on the Switch. Yeah. It's glorious. The music is so good. I remember finishing the game about 2 years ago when it came out on the Switch. And because it plays it's like a Zelda game. It's pretty much a Zelda game, but you're a dog, which means it's like Twilight Princess. Yeah, you have a sword. Like you have a sword in your mouth, and you start slashing people.
Like a paintbrush or something, right?
Yeah, you use a paintbrush as well, which is great because you can use your touch screen as well. It's just it was such a beautiful game. The music is incredible. The design of the game, it looks so beautiful. And if Okami 2 comes out, I will be buying that day one because I didn't play it because I think it came out quite late on the PS2. It's a classic case, isn't it? Games coming out so late on a console that you've already bought the next. I think it came out in like 2007 on the PlayStation 2. Yeah, and the Xbox 360 had come out in 2005. So at that point, I'd already bought my Xbox 360 and I wasn't playing Okami. So yeah, it's I'm really hoping.
If they do announce an Okami 2, I'll stream Okami 1.
Oh yes, please do, man! I would love that. It's quite a long game. I remember putting about 40 hours. It's about the same length as the old Zeldas, not Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild, different kettle of fish. Like the old Zelda, it's like 40 hours, and you could like defeat the game. But yeah, hopefully we are praying to the Okami gods at Capcom. Please let us have Okami 2.
Make it happen.
Yeah. I think that's going to be it for today. Dav, thank you so much
thank
for
you.
that. It's been absolutely lovely. We're really sorry if you missed Zach. A lot of you come to see his sexy
I prefer
face.
it without him.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah, I think I might as well. But thank you so much for listening today. If you enjoyed the show, then please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Patreon. Tell your friends and give us a review or a comment. It really does mean the world to us. We'll just very briefly talk about the fact that Rank the Jank video went out for Uncharted. We've had so many really lovely comments, even a dislike, which is not the worst thing in the world to have.
Yes!
You know, if someone hates your stuff enough that they're disliking it, you know what?
You're doing something right.
Doing something right, because you know a lot of people said it was great, and if one person's gone, I didn't like that, then it means we're making you feel stuff, and that's
probably an Uncharted fan.
Yeah, I did. Honestly, I was like, oh god, there's a lot of Uncharted people going, nope. But yeah, so Dab is going to be streaming on Sunday. He's going to be streaming Batman episode 3.
Episode 3 of the Telltale series. Yeah.
Sunday 2:30 in the UK time. So make sure you check him out. And that's it. As ever, stay safe out there. We really, really love you guys. We're so grateful for you listening in. This is Video Games Ahoy, and we'll see you next week.
Ahoy!
Ahoy!